It wasn't just in India that the seeding of hatred for Hindus was undertaken with such ruthlessness and precision. The same hatred for Hindus, for the children of India, then transferred itself with the Christian missionaries to the United States. Remember, the United States is on the other side of the world, diametrically opposite to where India is. And yet it became a common statement to say, kill the Indian, save the man. And the campaigns were all using the rhetoric of hatred for Hindus, hatred for Indians, which had been seeded and so successfully harvested in India. Now it was seeded and began to be harvested in the United States. You may have heard of the terrible crimes of the Anglican churches in Canada, and across America, where they would kidnap children, often at gunpoint from their parents, and put them into what were essentially juvenile concentration camps, where they were beaten if they spoke their own language, their names were changed, their hair were cut, they were Christianized, they were anglicized, they were westernized. The attempt was exactly the same as it was in India, which was cultural genocide or ethnocide, the erasure of the indigenous identity, with the tag of Indian and Hindu attached to it. So the evidence that I've presented, it confirms that global anti-Hindu sentiment was spawned by the churches. It was started by the British Church of England, and the Church of Scotland was also engaged in this, and the other religious institutions. And it was started and spearheaded by William Wilberforce in 1813. And it may be worth noting that he is the person accredited with stopping slavery. But that also should be scrutinized, that reputation should be scrutinized a little bit more. In that time, those petitions that were being raised, 908 of them, over 500,000, 500,000 British Christians signed those petitions. And they signed them because they were deliberately and willfully misled by the evangelicals in the churches and in the schools. So this is how the national consciousness of the United Kingdom was seeded with hatred for Indians at that time. And it has never been reversed. It has never been reset. It has never been rectified. And so even to this day, there is this deep-seated subconscious bias, a hatred for Hindus. And the moment that a Hindu starts to step forward and assert some rights, it's remarkable how quickly those colonialist tropes and those seeds of hatred start to bear fruit, and hatred manifests itself too easily. All three aspects are present even today. The church suddenly starts to feel that it has a savior mentality, and it has to save the Hindu who has a savage mentality, and it has to be done as a favor to the Hindu. And all of this, I'm suggesting, according to the evidence, was born in the United Kingdom. And this is why the Western nations have this unpleasant proclivity to suddenly become anti-Hindu at the drop of a hat. So even in the 21st century, we now have global Hinduphobia throughout the Western Euro-Christian world. I'm hoping now that you know why this happened, when it was seeded, and who was behind it. Now that we know this, we have an opportunity to start to reflect on what needs to be done to reverse this and for justice to be done. But the question that I'd like to leave you with is, what are we going to do about it? It's up to us to now address this. It's up to us to find the vocabulary and to challenge the institutions and demand that they acknowledge that this is what they did. The evidence is irrefutable, and I'm more than happy to share it with anybody who wishes to inquire further.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.